Hi, welcome to Mystic Moons. One second, let me fix something. Back again, back again, back again. Hi everyone, how are you? How's everyone doing today? Now we're at the midnight hour, and Mystic Moons is going to take another kind of like a predictive type of investigation. So, hi everyone, how are you doing? Hi, Scarlett. Hi, Sirik. How are you doing? Well, you know what? We all know the story about Adam and Eve, right? We all know. Eve ate the apple, and then Adam was kicked out. Now, the whole thing, they always make the Eve seem gullible Eve. But, maybe Eve was sick and tired of Adam sticking around, hanging out all day, doing nothing. So she finally found serpent, who was not a garden snake, but rather he was not human, but he was not a garden snake either. Now, he seemed to have his shit together, frankly. He seemed to talk the talk and walk the mile, whereas I was busy playing with butterflies. So Eve went ahead and she did what she did. Now, the way that the Western culture, though, has always put Eve as the blame game. The woman is always the one who's tempted. The woman is always the weak one. And in this case, we're dealing with Epstein. And we've been hearing about Epstein, right? We've been hearing about Epstein too long. Too long, right? YouTuber. We've been hearing about Epstein for a decade or more. Now, he's always been highly placed. And the last thing we heard about, he was such a high level operative, a high level spy, that he could not be discussed. And he's at all these sweetheart deals of keeping him out of the electric chair, more or less. He has a lot. It's reported he had a lot of people. He had a client list. He has a client list. Let's not get foo-foo about this. He has a client list. However, that has been like 180-degree turnabout in the last 48 hours. And in fact, it's more than 180 turnaround. It's like a 360. It's a 360. I don't know. Who? Epstein? Fine standing pedophile. Oh, no. He didn't do anything. He was miss what? A big mistake? Well, it's also a coincidence that Epstein's whitewashing came right at the time that Benjamin Netanyahu's visit came to Mr. Trump's. And they had a powwow, and they powwowed, and they wowed. They wowed us. They hit us with a soccer, saying there is no truckload of evidence, even though we have many, many tapes and videos. Contrary. Now, Pam Bondi, she is the United States Attorney General, the fine, upstanding citizen of the United States, the Justice Department. Now, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, the Deputy Attorney General, not the Deputy Attorney General, the Deputy Director and the Director of the Department of Defense. All these departments, and we're concentrating on Pam Bondi. Now, is she taking the heat? Is she going to be following the typical, in this country, especially the United States, the woman has to be exploited? It's easier to say the diversity, equality, and inclusion person. She fits the role for the DEI. Of course, so does Kosh, and so does Dan. But the point is, it's easier to pin it on her. She's a spring chicken, but she says she shouldn't be so stupid as to put herself on the chopping block unless she didn't have a choice. Now let's ask the universe. Because we're not going to get a straight answer if we rely on others to tell us how to think. Right? How to think. How come my internet is bad? Well, I'm up in the mountains in the Northeast in New York. I have 3 internet providers. Let me see. Let me just check. I think I'm okay. Let's see. Let me take a look. Back. Well, I'm back. My internet goes back and forth. That's like, hey, if we're in World War III already, even though, they haven't announced it, but we are in a very, not good old days. Not the good old days. We're in some strange times. And there's lots of forces around that. No matter if you have 3, as I do, internet connections, hey, sometimes it's just weather related. Anyway, the point we're trying to get through is Pam Bondi. Is she going to be the fall? Is she going to lose her job? Is she going to get fired because she's got the Eve complex in this testosterone, male-dominant, bark society? Will Pam get the boot? Will she be one targeted to start? She's convenient. She's a woman. She's attractive. And she's talking the talk and she's walking the walk, and it's not a good look. It's not a good fashion look, Pam. You don't look good lying your ass off. You don't. And it's not something that is flattering. It's not it's like that last Supreme Justice who was asked, what is a woman? Asking a woman, what is a woman? I don't know. She's only a woman. It's just like too much stupid. If we're stupid enough to believe that that Epstein did not have videotape, did not have a client's list. His client list has been all over the world, except all over the world, publicized. His flight log. Melinda Gates divorced her husband, Billy, because he was on the Epstein list. Melinda did. She kept the business because she's not a complete buffoon. I mean, she's not a buffoon at all. But she's not. She's practical. She's practical. She says, "You effed up, Bill," but that doesn't mean that we have to take. We have to lose money over it. Money, and that's the most important thing, in a way. It seems as though money is the most important thing. Now, is Pam going to be the one? Pam Bondi going to be the one who's going to lose out. Now, the first thing we get here is the Page of Pentacles, meaning who's going to take the loss. It's almost like, there's a financial thing in matter. I mean, wasn't Epstein, among his other crafts and professions, besides a pedophile, he was also a financier. He knew exactly where to put the gold, the dollars, the dirhams, the wampum. He knew where to put it and how to make people money. He was a very clever guy. And such a man does not, of course, kill himself because he didn't have any morals. He didn't have any. The man loved life. He loved life however he could get it and from whom he could get it. And he still reigns on if he is still actually deceased. And the next card we got here is the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles. This could be Pam herself. She's being set up. She's being set up. Of course, the entire Trump administration is being set up. No wars. We'll get to the bottom of Epstein. Every single thing. Now he's like, oh, gun ho. I hate Russia. I love Russia. Or I understand Russia. Now it's like war toys for killing in Ukraine and Russia. And now I'm going to teach Russia a lesson. Oh, it's nauseating to see this kind of playing with civilization's lives, human lives. They're playing with human lives in a very vicious, vicious way. And look at this. We have the Nine of Cups. Two nines. And we also have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups. Oh, it seems all primed to get rid of Pam. It's a very prime situation. They're just waiting without having a knee jerk. We have Temperance here, which is a timing card, which is, whoa, not so fast. They don't want to seem to be totally knee jerked as though they can be bossed around. As though they can have people tell they can be told what to do. We're trying to maintain a resemblance of. You're trying to make a resemblance of like we're the boss. We are the boss. But of course, what does the boss do? The boss fires the female. The boss pins it on the female. There's an overwhelming surplus of testosterone. Needless, backless, gold, less, fiat, bully, testosterone. And, Pam has been playing the game. She's been playing the game. But has she played it so well, too well, that she is finds herself in the middle of some sort of quagmire? It seems as though very much, we have two nines. It seems as though Pat is... She's going to get Pam, not Pat, Pam. Maybe her mother's name is Pat. The point is, Is she gonna have the fire engines, the police come and take her, the alarm go off on her seat? It seems the way they're setting it up. Even the way that Trump has praised Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, the DOGs, first and second. But Pam, no word. No word. No. She should have herself a drink or two because she's in for a rough ride. She's in for like some squeeze. This reading right here seems to be very, very, very pro something. Pro get rid of Pam. Pam Bondi. It seems like a good idea. Maybe we can just, blame everything on her. Blame every single thing on her and not have to worry. Now let's see something else. Now let's look at these nines. We have these two nines here. We have the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Cups. Now, and we also have, this is a good idea. Blame it on the woman, right? Blame it on the woman. I'm going to shuffle these next cards. I'm going to pick a couple and just explain these. Let's just do a little dive into the nines, into the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles, because it's all set up for Pam. Oh. Pam Bondi. Ooh, you're being set up, and you know it. You know it. They say, oh, just go along with the flow. You can write a book and sell it for a few $1 million. But does she have to meet, such a thing? Who's going to want her as an attorney when she allows herself? Now, I'm going to look here and see. Let's see. I want you to see what I'm doing, but too close. Let's see if this gives anything. Well, explain these nines some more. This 9 of Pentacles. Kind of get all this like doe energy, like female energy with this. Well, 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, and King of Swords. It seems as though they're going to announce someone's departure. It seems as though there's a meeting going on, this quiet meeting. Who's going to take the fall? Eeny, meeny, mighty Eve. Eeny, meeny, mighty Eve. Not Mo. Eeny, meeny, mighty Eve. Quiet meeting because we're losing supporters. Well, somebody has to be sacrificed. Somebody from the inner circle. And the 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles. And then the announcement, the King of Swords. The King of Swords. All right, the King of Swords. Seems very well that Pam Bondi, I can't even say her name right. I'm already forgetting who she is. Well, seems like Pam is going to be set up. She is being set up. And how can she have any type of authority? How can Trump's administration roll back some sort of integrity? Go ahead with war. What happened to make America great again? Ditto, ditto. Benjamin Netanyahu comes around. It's not America. It's Israel. It is the Middle East. It is my good friends instead of like our people in Philadelphia, our people in Atlanta, our people in Chicago. No. We're talking about Ukraine. Anything but the United States. Anything. And we're doing so great. We're doing so No, we're not doing. Oh, we made like 2 million jobs, private sector jobs in 7 months. How many states are there? 50? 50 goes into 200 mil. How many times? How many times? 400K? 400K? Now put 7 into 400K. 7 months. 7 months. And then times, think about how many people. 350 mil? 350 mil. We're lacking to get this economy going, to have it concrete. You have to create constantly 750,000 jobs per month. And to have a measly, let me see now, 7 goes into, and to have a measly 50,000 jobs on average created each month is pathetic. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's just as pathetic as saying whitewashing Epstein and his pedophilia ring. It's just, why is culture so corrupt? Why is this culture so sexual instead of mental, instead of like family orientated, creating something that blossoms? It's because it's complicated, right? It's complicated because maybe we are not the only ones again, but yet we're constantly being told crap. Stupid us for listening. Stupid us for accepting. Don't listen to the cheerleaders of stupidity. Think about things. Do they feel right? No. Do they feel like you hearing the truth? No. I mean, what do you intend to do with this? Do you think that, again, in this country, it's easier to get rid of the woman, to peg the woman as being weak, as being disorganized, as being, semi-intuitive, but really not organized enough to do a job? It's still going on. Still. Well, I would say, think about it. Just think about if Pam Bondi will be the Eve of this Epstein whitewash. It seems as though she's an easy target, and she's right foremost, front and center, right now. So we shall see. So, Mystic Moon listeners, watchers, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think Pam is going to get the axe? She's going to be asked to step aside. She's going to take the blame, the initial blame, because this is not going to blow over. This will build day in and day out. And you could say that Trump is fighting the deep state. Trump. He's fighting everyone. He's fighting everyone on the planet. If only he had good people around him. Do we see an administration that's following the same path they did the last time? Do we see anything new? Do we see anything different? War. And tariffs. Excuse me. Tariffs. Who's going to pay for the tariffs? It's us, the taxpayers. More things are more expensive. things are more expensive now, right? Everything has doubled in price in the last couple of months, and now they're going to go triple. So, what do you think about your faith in the Epstein trial, and the Epstein and the Netanyahu? What's happening? Something very kinky, something very real, something very dangerous is happening. We're losing our credibility daily. Things are going on, and we have all these messages that we're getting. We're getting these messages: the Two of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and we have the Ten of Swords. Meaning they just can't keep quiet about it. They have to have a sacrifice. They have to have someone who's going to say, it's my fault. It's my fault. I'm not organized. Or I just could not, I can't do this job. Something like that. Now you see who, and they made such a big stink over it too. Now you can just see, it smells. Doesn't it smell? Doesn't something feel fishy? Fishy. Something feels really dangerous. Our credibility is at stake from having an exclusive, high-profile pedophilia ring to like, there's nothing to see here. And who has been spoken about? One woman, Maxwell. She's in jail. Nobody else. As though she's the one that did the screwing. She's the one that consorted with the young girls. She's the one who did this and did that. Nobody else has faced any wrath. No one. You act like it doesn't matter. That's child sacrifice. Child sex rings. Children sex rings. That's a very intensely moral decadence. What country wants to do business with a country that is so far gone? What kind of business are you going to get? One with a whole bunch of pervs? A whole bunch of people that just manage to skate through? Well, think about it. Think about it. Think about what is going down. Demand demand action. We just can't sit here and just allow our country, our so-called great country, just to be like trashed constantly into nothingness. Our infrastructure, now our morale, our country, we have to pull it together, people. We have to demand answers. Demand answers. The universe is screaming at us. And not only the universe, we have to find out exactly what is happening. What is exactly happening? And who's responsible for this blackout of details? Whitewashing of you don't need to know. Just be stupid. Just eat pizza, drink booze, smoke joints, etc. Just don't pay attention to what we do with the world or in the outer world, too. Well, I'm going to leave you right now because this is something we have to figure out. Any comments about, do you think Bondi, not Pat, Pam, already put her in the past tense. She's already becoming an unknown figure, a figure that's forgettable. She came on with with like some dreams, but she's been not living up to them. She hasn't lived up to them among other people, but she hasn't. So we'll see. We'll see who really is the one who's going to be bombed out, taking the heat for this tragedy, miscarriage of justice, misinformation, miss everything. Or will they just plan something to take our minds off of it altogether? That's also a possibility. Perhaps that's why Texas happened. Perhaps. Perhaps it was. Step one distraction on the 4th of July, Rose. A holiday. For some, a nightmare for others. I will leave you to think about these things. And let's realize that we are part of the universe. We are part of we are more than just our little selves. We are a collective of the cosmos. We're part of the world, the universe, the multiverse. And whether you think this is a simulation or not, empathy and love are a grounding force. And we are quite capable of doing much, 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 much better. Much, much, much better. So until the next time, Mystic Moon, we say goodbye. Until the next time we decide to see. But it looks right now that Pam is history books.